if you're in the millions, you're going to be closer to the 4 to 5 multiples. If you're in the hundreds, thousands, and whatnot, you're going to be in the 2 to 3s. So it all depends on the business as well, how it's structured, what you're going to have to do, what you're going to have to invest into it. If it's something that you don't have to spend this money on this side on the back end, or you may pay it on the front end. So it might work out the same for you, but to a seller, the more infrastructure he has and systems and processes and sales and numbers and profits, the bigger the multiple you're going to have.
Is the average buyer looking for a turnkey, or what is the average buyer looking for when they're looking for a continuation purchase?
I would say the majority that I deal with are looking at cash flow instantly. Again, there's some of those I mentioned earlier that are turnarounds. There's not too many people on BizBuy that are looking for turnarounds, and that's the number one site that people go to. But they are there. What's my ROI, and what am I going to have to do to get it? So that's where, again, it's easier for you to get that return. It's going to come up higher, your multiple.
One of the caveats for that big size versus multiple is that sometimes the franchisor requires an owner operator, and in that case the multiple goes down a little bit, even though the EBITDA may be high, because now you narrow the type of buyers that can bid on that business. And then you have the other side of it, the financing piece, because the bigger it gets, the more tricky it gets to finance, SBA and all. So so sometimes you can get like a large EBITDA at 2.5, 3 times if the business.
You're right, Jay. It's all what the buyer and the seller can agree upon. If it's a bigger one, a lot of times, unless it's real big and you've got some big PE money, which is no problem. But when I've got stuff doing 2 and 3 or 4 million, that cuts your buyers way down. So it doesn't give you as many out there. And I've had buyers or sellers, I should say, they just get fed up with it and drop the price. So you just never know.
Yeah. And then last question for me is any desirability between B2B type franchise versus a B2C? Is there a type of business that maybe is more desirable by average buyers that you see than something else outside of just the numbers?
In my opinion, B2B is easier. It's an easier sale. The business just needs something. You're solving a problem. You give them a solution. Where do I sign? With a consumer, he's going to go shop at 5, 10 different places and try to take you down on the price. So B2B, I like it better. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with B2C, but I especially retail is tough, on the B2C side. So, but some people love it. It all depends what they want. The guy I was talking to today, he's got 100 employees and looking for another business. How many employees do you want to have? I said, it depends on the business. Doesn't bother me. I thought you'd say, I want something. Well, I don't have to have 100 employees. So you just don't know. And it's a matter of finding the match between the buyer and the seller.